I'm Alan Lytle for 91.3 WUKY, where it is time for another edition of Saving Stories with Dr. Doug Boyd from the Louie B. Nunn Center for Oral History in the UK Libraries. It's a segment where we feature interviews from the collection. Doug, today, October 17th, 2025, marks the 85th anniversary of the first broadcast on WBKY. The station, of course, is known as WUKY now, and we have that origin story.
The roots of WUKY are founded in WBKY out of Beattyville, which originated from a man named Elmer Sulzer, who was here at UK and had set up these listening centers throughout eastern Kentucky to deliver educational content to these mountain communities. Those listening centers eventually became WBKY, a station that was housed in Beattyville but managed by UK. We don't have an interview with Elmer, but as part of our History of Broadcasting in Kentucky Oral History Project, we do have an interview with Ruth Foxx Newborg, who was the first director of WBKY.
He was a very dedicated person. I mean, he was really so enthused about doing this. And even before he got the idea of a local county station, he had spent, I don't know how many years, probably 10, tracking up those mountain roads, which is nothing but rocks and gullies, and some places you had to walk up creeks or creks as they called them to get to any of these places. He went into unbelievable country, the mountains, and he wanted so badly to take educational broadcasting to these mountain people, and he would go into county after county after county with these little commercial radio receivers so they could pick up the 50,000 watt clear channel stations on them. He did have a dream.
And that dream was a radio station that would be broadcasting to these communities.
And so Ruth Foxx becomes the first program director, if you will, or radio director, and her job was to teach these people how to become broadcasters.
And she didn't really have a whole lot of experience.
You have no idea what a tyrannical director I was. I went right by a stopwatch. I'd been trained. I didn't know any other way. A 15-minute program ran 14 minutes and 30 seconds. And that's exactly how long they ran. I think the reason it didn't scare them off is because they had no familiarity with radio whatsoever, and they figured this was the way it worked.
So the first broadcast took place on October 17th, 1940, to great fanfare.
There was clearly great enthusiasm and commitment, but there was just one problem. The problem was the broadcast wasn't reaching the local communities. WBKY being a partnership between UK and Beattyville School District, the school district had a hard time continuing to justify the expense when the signal just wasn't being reached by the local communities. So eventually the plug had to be pulled, and Ruth Foxx Newborg had to move on professionally.
I don't think I realized until the very last that it wasn't going to work. Sulzer and I, near the end, it was beginning to get a little touchy because the school board was down my neck as to, when are we going to hear what we're paying for? So then I would write Mr. Sulzer and I'd say, when in the world are the receivers coming? And so near the end, I thought, this is ridiculous. I knew how hard I was working and how all these people volunteering their time, giving up whatever they wanted to do to come in there and actually work hard to perform. And I'm sure that a lot of them didn't realize that a lot of people weren't listening to them. I certainly didn't announce to anyone, there's no one out there. They just came in and went on the air and did what they were supposed to do.
But of course, it wasn't a total loss. Eventually, Sulzer moved the operation to Lexington, where it remains today.
And in this final clip, Ruth reflects on that legacy of this original initiative and its impact on educational broadcasting.
I think a lot of people must have heard about it. And it must have gotten the idea. Educational broadcasting wasn't that prevalent at that time. But I think the idea of a community pitching in and helping with an educational program, I think it certainly did sow some seeds that must have taken root somewhere.
Indeed, and 85 years later, WUKY is still going strong thanks to the generous support of our listeners. If you're in the giving mood, why not go to our website now and leave us a birthday present? Just click the Give Now button at WUKY.org. And as always, thanks for listening to 91.3 WUKY.